And I think this is a good point to talk about some of my own interpretations. And these aren't my own alone. I mean, but it is definitely something I felt while I was watching the movie and some of these documentaries and stuff. And that is that of mental illness. And we all have struggles and things that we're struggling. Um, this notion that McCandless may have been affected by mental illness or had a disorder. That's a topic of discussion and speculation among a lot of people who have delved into this story. It's impossible to diagnose this from watching a movie or reading a book. But there are aspects of his behavior and thought patterns from his writing and things that we led to some of us to consider these underlying psychological issues. One aspect is his drive for solitude and the extreme lengths to which he went to disconnect from society. He deliberately isolated himself and rejected a lot of his bonds. According to the stories, he was known to make friends and then just kind of dump them and leave them, oftentimes without them even knowing that he had left. His desire and ultimate ties, he severed ties with his family, throwing away his possessions. He literally, according to the story, burnt his money. Going on this journey by himself might be indicative of a psychological condition. Another aspect, his aversion to those material possessions and adhering to society. Many people seek, rejecting materialism, right? A lot of people do that, but the extent which he took, giving away his life savings. He wrote a check that emptied out his savings or his post collegiate savings for his, next degree or whatever. He just emptied that out. That's pretty extreme. There's lots of big words in terms of people speculating, like oppositional defiant disorder, which is where people display a persistent pattern of opposition to or defiance to authority figures, right? And I think I have that to a little degree myself personally. So I can feel that. Lots of assumptions about antisocial personality disorder, bipolarism, where people show impulsive erratic behavior, one day to the next. It's important to note again that without any kind of professional evaluation or, an interview with him, which is impossible, we're all speculating, and it is speculation. But I think it's important to also look at this from that lens, because I know me personally, there are people in my life that I've worried about. I've worried about their mental state and their condition and some of the decisions they make, because I think they're informed by potential issues that are going unaddressed. And, it bothers me. And to think about this person that did this stuff, that rejected his family, threw away his money, went off all over the country doing God knows what, and then disappearing into the Alaskan wilderness and then dying of something like starvation and loneliness, simply because he was out of reach for people to help him. It's an interesting thing to look at in your relationships with others and where you stand personally with your own mental health. Are you pushing people away to the point where they're no longer able to tell you the truth or help you, or all of that? And I think it's important. I think it's important to consider that stuff for yourself, for others, for your family. And this story makes me think of that stuff. There's a lot here. I just needed to get this out of my head to see what came out in terms of this story. Um, I will tell you, Alaska was a beautiful place, and I want to go back pretty bad, and I would love to do some camping there too. Um, you know, I think there'll be a long legacy of this story. Uh, despite his tragic, I mean, ultimately it's a tragic story because he did pass away. It's a strong legacy, I think. There's a lot of interest in mystical aspects to it. It captivated me. I think it would you if you looked into it a little deeper. Um, there's a ton of things out there. I'm going to link it all up. You can check out the book, the movie, some of these YouTube documentaries. It's fascinating. I'd love to hear what you think about this in terms of your own perspective and where you fall. Do you fall with him on the super tramp side? Is he sort of heroic? Is he inspirational, or do you fall on the Alaskan hunter side where you think he's just kind of a dum dum who went in the woods and got himself killed because he didn't know what he was doing? Um, are you kind of in the middle? Because I'm personally kind of in the middle. I think after I've really thought about this a lot, I think I do fall kind of in the middle, and you know, wavering back and forth as I've experienced these stories and been there myself. And I'm surprised that that's where I fall, because I would have fully thought that I would have fallen on the side of, dum dum, but I don't. And it's caused me some inner to look inside a little bit and to see where I stand on these things. And then, thinking about this mental illness wrinkle as well. And it's an interesting um, lens to apply to people I know, people I love, into myself, and try to get some understanding and empathy to some of the things that they're dealing with, you know? So check it out. Hit me back. Let me know what you think. Let me know where you fall. Where do you fall? I'd love to know and love to talk to you about it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And until next time, check you guys later.